we're about to daven Arvith. Why are we waiting a few moments? Because Tzeit HaKochavim, the appearance of 3 stars, will be in about 3 minutes' time. How do I know that, first of all? How do you know when 3 stars? I mean, you can go outside if there's no light pollution, which we have plenty of today. Less where you live, more here. You can observe it, but the fact is, in Yerushalayim, or Eretz Yisrael in general, basically, but let's say for now, more specifically, the latitude of Yerushalayim, the longest time between sunset and the appearance of 3 average-sized stars, which is what the Talmud speaks about in Masechet Shabbat, which is again this time of year and the time of the summer solstice, roughly, is 28 minutes. So says Hagaon Rabbeinu Yehiel Michael Tukchinsky, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, in his book on the subject Ben HaShemashot. He observed the Shkia and Tzeit HaKochavim in Yerushalayim for decades, and wrote a book on the subject. Rav Kook and he were on good terms and knew each other well. So we're talking about 100 years ago or so, and he was an expert in this field. And all my personal observations have led me to the same conclusion, that at no time during the year, if the sky is clear, will you have to wait not more than 28 minutes in Eretz Yisrael, certainly around Yerushalayim, to see 3 stars. But the opposite is also true. Those who claim 18 minutes is Tzeit HaKochavim, that is not true. It is true, perhaps. It is true. In fact, it's definitely true in the middle of winter. In the middle of winter, you can see 3 stars, perhaps even 17 minutes after the sun sets. But the twilight changes throughout the year. In the winter, it's shorter. In the summer, it's longer. If you go, the further north you go on Earth, the longer the twilight is, or the shorter it is. Correct? So, if you go to Norway, you have to wait till 1:30 a.m. for Shabbat to go out. Okay, and in fact, you don't really see 3 stars. That's the darkest that it gets, but you don't actually see 3 stars. Wow. And 2 hours later, the sun rises again. Anyhow, so that's in the middle of the summer. In the middle of the winter, it's almost dark the whole time. Correct? And the further north you go, it must be dark the whole time. So it varies a great deal. So these things are entirely local and vary. It depends on your locale and depends on the time of year. So now we're basically at the height towards the height of summer, and we're towards the longest day of the year. Right, the sun rises now approximately 5:33, and sets approximately 7:45. That's basically the longest, more or less, close to the longest. It'll be longer in another 10 days' time, but that's about the longest that it gets. And the twilight is also lengthened relatively. And now, having discussed that, so that's when Tzeit HaKochavim is. Is it possible to daven Arvith before Tzeit HaKochavim? It is, but then you shouldn't be saying Kriyat Shema. You can say Kriyat Shema with the brachot later. That's really the correct solution. That's not what most people perhaps do, but that's the correct solution. But now we don't have a problem, because now it's Tzeit HaKochavim.